Like at the beginning, I was losing followers. I thought that I am throwing my creator career out of the window by starting to post like classic content. And now, literally 5 years later, I am someone who, I want to say, I am in the front of this movement, environmental content creation and greenfluencing. And I can see, wow, like the potential of this and what is
Yeah.
like starting right now is like bubbling.
The idea of being sort of like an environmental influencer or a green influencer, I didn't have quite a fleshed out idea, but I was like, hey, what if we get influencers to like go out with these organizations? And the agency didn't go for it, but that sort of idea of like we have this whole audience of people that are interested in travel influencers, and travel usually involves going to places like coral reefs and areas that are impacted by human activity. What if we combine the two? So super inspirational.
Yeah, and I think something that also very much resonated with me was this feeling of something's got to give, something's got to change. I've always been also like the freelancer guy. So you, basically, what you also do, Charlie.
Hmm.
So you call us for a job, and we will show up at the gig, and we also film something. And a lot of that stuff that was happening at the time before I started Creators for Climate was, tech videos, IT, kind of this sphere, and like especially things that were making things worse instead of helping the narrative
Totally.
of the climate crisis. So for me, it was like I need to find ways to start actual projects that matter. And the same thing for YouTube. Like I was making YouTube videos on my own channel, Tom's Odyssey, making these review videos. Like you get sent stuff over, a little bit similar to what Mark Green was saying, and then you make videos about them. But it's all to promote overconsumption, and definitely not something that is, making sense. You're trying to make a video so people buy more stuff, and I think we just have to do a little bit of the opposite. So a little bit of defluencing, is that a word? Think
Defluencing. I love it.
think defluencing. Yeah, I think it's just something that we all have to go through before we get into environmental content. Yeah, for me that was a lot of letting go of ego. So like I already built this entire brand. I think it was around 45K, so 45,000 subscribers, where I was like, yeah, let me ditch that and start something completely from fresh.
Yeah,
So actually starting from zero, and you get humbled along the way. Like everything starts from scratch. You have to redo everything that you're thinking about. So I don't know if that's something that plays for you now that you're also working on Curious Earthlings, or maybe not at all because you're in a little bit of a different game there.
no, I think it totally does, and that's what is currently pushing me, and what has kind of been the catalyst for that inspiration for me to get into this type of work is I've always been interested in it, and I feel like I have a skill set, so it's like why not apply these skills in filmmaking to something that actually matters. For me, the hardest part and it's still the hard part, is the money aspect for me, because there's so much money in doing the advertisements for the product, and there's not a whole lot of money in doing a cool thing for an organization um, that's running off of like a grant or whatever. So it's that balance of like, what do you want your legacy to be, and what do you want your skills to be applied to? Like in 50 years, do I want to look back and be going, oh, I made a bunch of product commercials essentially and got paid for it, and now here we are? Or do you want to kind of leave the world better, in a better spot? So it's finding that balance.
Well, let me already give you a little hint. We're going to talk about money. I think it's
Perfect.
definitely part of the equation. I'm not
Hmm.
saying like we have all the answers here. Maybe that should be like an episode on itself. But
Hmm.
we're going to talk about it. The other part to this whole thing is, like you just said, is legacy. But we're doing it. We're making it happen.
Is the purpose. Like you cannot really, I don't think that you have a choice, if it chooses you. You just got to do it, and you can push it away, and you can say that you're not ready, and you can say that you're scared, but it's gonna hunt you down. And at some point you're ready and you're gonna do it, and we need more of that. That's why for me right now is about inspiration, is just giving people hope, because there is so much of still of the doom and gloom. And this is where I started my journey as environmental content creator. I started with the doom and gloom, and I started creating shocking content about pollution, the sad white girl in the trash, and that goes really viral, and it gives people fear and anxiety, and they comment and they share and all of that. And then I myself got trapped in all of these emotions: eco anxiety, just hopelessness, just I am the problem, I'm traveling and I am part of this, and like, what am I doing? So yeah, changing that narrative, just learning about solutions, going on this journey. We are solutionists, and this is how we present ourselves. And yes, there are problems, but we're not here for it. Yes, yeah, other people are tackling problems. We're here raising awareness about solutions, and we're gonna have all the conversations about solutions. And we're here for inspiration, for hope. We're here to uplift people, to give you this energy that you can do it. This is what we're here for. And it's very, very hard and tricky journey, because keeping this optimism and hopefulness when you are on the ground of environmental work, and you constantly hear the scientists, and our scientists are not the biggest optimists, because they have to be real. They have to be real, and we have to sit there and listen and be like, and still stay hopeful.
Something that I think is also really relevant to me is the idea that like you're not going to be ready, quote unquote, ready to start doing this type of stuff. You just have to start doing it. I tend to overthink stuff, and I think a lot of creators tend to overthink stuff, and they want it to be perfect. And oh, well, maybe like if I find the perfect project to kind of cover, or the perfect intro to sort of start transitioning my audience, away from what I'm doing into, we don't have time for that. I feel like it's ecosystems are collapsing. There's a climate crisis. Like, we need people to get involved. And if you have an interest in this and a passion for this, and you're even thinking about it, just start doing it. You can start small, and depending on how your business or audience functions, you can transition how you see fit. But I think waiting for the right time, we're already past that. I think the quicker we can get into it, and if you already enjoy that aspect of creating and you already want to start pursuing that, I say just start tomorrow.
And this is also not us taking way too much time to launch the podcast and have these conversations.
Tom, you don't have to. We just do as I say, not as I do.